Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and today we're sitting here in the second of our flights with the Piper 46, and you can see we've just about started refueling the airplane for our promised IFR flight. We're currently standing in Kittilä and we're going to make our way towards Rovaniemi to make a little tour of the Nordics in some lovely winter weather conditions. Refueling is currently in progress. When that is done, our passengers are going to arrive, and once they are here, we are going to start preparing our airplane for the flight. So that does promise to get an exciting one. The weather conditions are not exactly optimal, and we've already got snow up in the northern Nordics, which is going to make our flight particularly interesting. So refueling in progress, and that refueling is part of the ground handling menu of the... Oh, thank you very much. Finally, silence. So, that refueling is actually part of the FSReborn FSR500, a model of the Piper 48 M500. So, refueling is about to be completed over there, and once that is done, the fuel truck is going to drive off. Just while we're looking at it, have a look at the actual fuel quantity increasing over here as well. 414 pounds that we've just uplifted into our airplane. And with that, we are basically done, and we can head into our craft to prepare for our departure. Just prior to the video, I did already remove the chocks and the covers. So this is what it looks like when we put all the stuff on. We can see we've got a well winter protected aircraft for parking it for longer times. We've got the pitot covers down there beneath the wing. And then we've got the engine inlet covers and the exhaust covers over here as well, making sure that nothing can freeze. Same for the pitot cover over there as well. For a full walk around, do have a look at the VFR video. That one is quite interesting, as it is going to show us how that airplane is actually flown in manual flight. And today we're going to focus on the abilities of the autopilot, and we are going to focus on the abilities flying our M500 IFR. So let's head inside and let's start getting ready. And down here you can see it already, our ground operations menu. We've requested real world boarding and our passengers are on the way, ETA coming in 45 seconds. So let's go ahead and get at least some basics of the airplane on the way and covered. So we're going to start just getting a light on at least. Battery can come on, and I'm just going to run everything off the battery for now. So dome light can come on both sides, and the passengers can turn theirs on when they have actually boarded the airplane. Or, tell you what, let's turn it on for them. So we've got a dome light switch here on every single one of the passenger seats. Obviously we got to be a little bit careful that we don't run them for too long, as we are draining the battery at the moment, and especially in cold weather, batteries are a little bit of a pain, so we just gotta watch that carefully. Alright, passengers are approaching. Let's see. Yeah, there they are coming. Alright. Yes, hello there. You don't need to ring that horn, my friend. Okay, when they're on board, we can start closing that door so that it gets a little bit warmer inside at least. So, preparing to board. Time to come, my friends. And once the passengers are on board... Oh! Passenger status, taking selfies. Can we see him anywhere? It doesn't look like it, does it? Oh boy, we do need that though. We do need a visual model of passengers taking selfies. Okay, so I suppose they're gonna get on board any moment now, once they are done with the Instagram shooting. And when they are on board, we are going to get ready. So, in the meantime, let's already remove the pitot covers and the propeller covers. Oh, hello there, flirting with a pilot. Well, I suppose, as nice as it is, please, gentlemen and lady, at least I hope so, take your seats, we want to get going. Alright, boarding, here it is. Very nice. Alright, so, 2 passengers on board, should get a couple more. And then we should be all set to go. 3 passengers on board, 1 in the front, take note of that. And we should get another one so that we're fully loaded. Right, here we go. So that's 4 passengers on board. And that's 5 passengers on board. And with that, we are fully loaded. All the way up to the max takeoff weight, as you can see, just 4 pounds below the max weight. Alright then, they are driving off with the SUVs, and that is our signal. Close that door. So we start with the bottom, then continue with the top. Here we go, and they're locked. All the lockers are showing green, which indicates to us that we've actually got pressurization. Alright, our first officer is also boarded by now, so we are all good to go. A little look over what we have currently set in our plane. So on the pre-flight page we can see that everything is showing okay. The plane is pretty much exactly as we left it after our VFR hop in northern Germany. Maintenance tab, you can see my brakes have worn down by like 1% from that last flight. The tires themselves looking good as well. De-icing boots are okay, those are going to be particularly important today. Hydraulic pump okay, and the inverter is okay. The flaps are okay as well. So battery is good, but we gotta be sure that we are going to we gotta make sure that we start our pre-flight procedures in a moment so that we can actually get going over there. In any case, just the last thing that I quickly want to show you over here is our flight plan, which we can have a very quick look from, imported from SimBrief. And on the overview you can see we are going from Kittilä towards Rovaniemi, which they estimate 58 minutes, but it is going to be a little bit less, I'm rather sure about that. You can see it's including taxi time, so just about 35 minutes of flight time today. Alright then, our departure weather at Kittilä, which is also our alternate airport by the way. You can see light snow, broken clouds 400, and temporarily 3000 meters light freezing drizzle, so it's not all that good of weather even though it is flyable. Similarly on the arrival, let's just scroll that one all the way up. Rovaniemi is showing light snow, overcast clouds, and 4,500 feet, 0 degrees, 1001. Looking at the forecast, we got light snow with few clouds in 100, and temporarily for the entire evening, clouds broken in 300, so that's the conditions under which we are flying today. Also in terms of NOTAMs over here, intersection takeoff forbidden for jet engine aircraft, not our problem. Taxiway Tango, edge lights on apron side removed, okay. And November Alpha Victor NDB unserviceable. Okay, we can live with all of those. So let's go ahead then and quickly turn on our avionics so that we can grab our IFR and our startup clearances. And we can quickly use that over here. Our voltage has decreased by 0.3 already in the meantime. So it is certainly about time that we get this thing going and get our startup clearance to get the engine up. Alright then, let's grab our ATIS. Quickly see where that is. Let's import that flight from SimBrief. So, Kittilä, ground charts, parking. Yes, I want that. And I'll take it in night time. Alright, ATIS 133.85.
Wind touchdown zone 060 degrees 3 knots. Visibility 6 kilometers, light snow. Overcast 300 feet. Temperature 0, 2.0 QNH 1001. Advise on initial contact. You have information hotel.
Alright, so we've got information hotel. The tower frequency is 118.95.
Expected runway 34 in use. Transition level 65. Wind touchdown zone 060 degrees 3 knots. Visibility 6 kilometers, light snow.
Alright, we've heard it.
300 feet.
So let's go ahead and get our clearance. Kittilä Tower, good evening. Oscar Hotel Foxtrot Uniform Charlie. Information Hotel requests startup and clearance to Rovaniemi.
Tower, hello, clear to Rovaniemi, runway 16, Tukku 1 Charlie departure, mass level 170, squawk 1333.
Oscar Uniform Charlie, cleared Rovaniemi of runway 16, Tukbu 1 Charlie departure, climb flight level 170, squawk 133.
Oscar Uniform Charlie, clear is correct, startup approved.
Startup approved, Oscar Uniform Charlie. Okay, startup is approved. The rest of the stuff we are going to do in the aftermath. For now, let's turn those avionics back off and let's get our airplane running. So, we can take the checklist straight from the product manual. Certainly can recommend you to have a look into that if you want to fly the FSR500. So let's go ahead with it. Before starting engine checklist, passengers boarded, doors closed, all electrical switches are off except the battery, cabin climate controls are off. Then circuit breakers, that's one of the most important parts on this airplane because they can and do pop, like I've detailed on my previous video flying this one VFR, which I can certainly recommend you to check out. So a little look beneath here, that is what it would look like if one was popped. And on the other side things do seem to look alright as well, but let's just about move over. Quick look down here, and circuit breakers are looking good. Okay, ECS cabin comfort, that's the one down here, is off. Park and brake, on. Bleeder lever, out. Power lever, idle. Condition lever, cut off. Emergency switch. Okay, that one we gotta... Well, for that we gotta turn the battery off. Emergency switch on. And we can see we are getting power. Okay, off. Battery back on. So, nav light, on. And then flaps are retracted. Fuel gauges and quantity are looking good for our flight. Okay, fire detector annunciator test. That's hidden up here.
10.
Looking good. And then the CAS, consider anything illuminated. Pitot heat off, takeoff config, alternator off, generator off, feather, that is all expected. Okay, before starting engine checklist complete, let's continue with the auto engine start using battery checklist. Battery voltage between 24 and 26 checked. Fuel pump. Manual. Left and right ignition pump on CAS message. Checked. Ignition switch. Manual. And ignition on CAS message checked. Prop area is looking all clear to me. Alright then. Start mode is in auto, the light is off, and then we can push our start switch. Here we go. You can see those lights flicker, and the turbine is running up, and that is exactly what we're looking for. Looking for 13% now, here we go. Condition lever all the way forward. And the engine is running up. Oil pressure is increasing. The oil pressure could go rather high due to the cold engine, but let's see what's actually gonna happen. Normally, with the oil being very cold, the pressure would rise quite a lot on engine starts. But looks like on this one it just goes to standard. Okay, very good. That is our engine running. Then oil pressure is checked, NG minimum 13%, condition lever run, ITT maximum 1000 degrees. Then starter verify off. That starter is certainly off. NG stable above 63, yeah, just about 63. NP minimum 1200 RPMs, we've got that. Generator switch on. Okay, that voltage is certainly up there, all the way to 28. Alternator switch on, and we can verify both of them are actually working down there. Okay, then ignition switch off, fuel pump switch, auto, and oil pressure is checked at a minimum of 60 psi. And that's the auto engine start checklist complete. Let's continue with the before taxi checklist. Avionics switch on, MFD is coming on, and we are going to press enter for that. Thank you. So, CAS messages. Consider any illuminated. Pitot heat off. Takeoff config. Tell you what, we want to avoid that pitot freezing up, so let's turn all of that lovely stuff here straight on. Except for that surface de-ice, that's gonna come later. Okay, so then Peter switch is on and operation is checked. Then cabin climate controls up next. Air conditioning will certainly put that on, and let's warm it up in here. Alright, that is much better. That is much better. Okay, so radios and avionics, we're gonna do that in a moment. Flaps, verify retracted. Elevator trim set in takeoff range. Rudder trim, that's up here, and we're going to set it to the right again, about between 2 and 3 units. So something like 3 units is certainly gonna look good. Okay, cabin pressure dump switch is guarded. ECS cabin comfort, normal. Destination elevation to be set. Stall warning test. Let's see if that thing still works. That's up here. Looking good. Okay then, so according to the ATIS, QNH was 1001. That's set, and with that we can start programming our avionics. So, for the flight plan, let's make our life simple. Here we go, flight plan page, flight plan catalog. And this is what we are going to activate straight from SimBrief. So this is Tukbu 1 Delta, however ATC cleared us for the Tukbu 1 Charlie. So let's go ahead, procedure, departure, Tukbu 1 Charlie, enter. Of runway 16, that is as they cleared us. Alright, that's loaded up. And the arrival we're going to enter when we actually know. So initial climb was cleared by ATC all the way to flight level 170. So they cleared us straight to our cruising level up here. And that is set as well. Okay, transponder code 1333. And we're gonna switch that one on. Okay, perfect. Apart from that, our references are all on, and we just have to stand by to start the timer when we initiate the takeoff roll. So with the current weather, I am going to go for the HSI map down here. And I'm going to turn the next red on the map as well. Apart from that, PFD options, let's just go for that. Synthetic vision. We can switch that on as well. And finally, let's go for the wind, option 3, very good. We'll turn on the DME. The bearing 1 is going to be nav 1, bearing 2, nav 2. Alt units looking good as they are. Okay, cool. So that's pretty much our setup completed over here. Then let's have a quick look into our departure. Tukbu 1 Charlie, here it is.
Oscar Uniform Charlie, what is your estimate for taxi?
Oscar Uniform Charlie, 1 minute.
Okay, that's perfect. Yeah, I got some traffic approaching from the south, so if you want to use 16, that will be available for the next 5 minutes still, if you can start your taxi in 5 minutes.
Yeah, within 5 minutes is going to be perfectly fine. We just need a single minute and then we're good to go, Oscar Uniform Charlie.
Perfect.
Alright, so Tukbu 1 Charlie is going to be straight at towards Fasik, maximum 200 knots. And we've got Fasik in here. And thereafter it's going to be 140, 21 miles towards Tukbu. And in here we've got 140, 21 miles towards Tukbu, and that's it. Okay, perfect. So that's it. We are fully prepared to go. And then Romeo 16, we can absolutely take intersection Lima. We can even take intersection Golf if we want. I tell you what, we are going to go for Lima, because it is a rather slippery runway today, as you can see by just looking outside. Okay, sounds good. Oscar Uniform Charlie, request taxi, Able Lima.
Oscar Charlie, taxi order point Lima.
Taxi order point Lima, Oscar Uniform Charlie. Alright, so right turn out, and then onto the main taxiway, Tango Lima. Taxi light coming on. So, we gotta taxi rather careful here, it might be slippery. Did I forget the chocks? I probably did. Knowing myself. Let's see. Ground ups. Yeah, chocks and cones still in place. Surprise! But good to see that the plane is actually not taxiing for as long as the chocks are in. So now they're out, and here you can see it, we're rolling straight away. So, brake check. Looks good. Okay, with the possibility of a slippery taxiway over here, we are certainly not going to go too fast. But not too slow either. Okay, that was my mistake. I went a little bit too far into the beta range and reversed it a little bit too strong. But here we go again. Okay, out to the main taxiway. Let's not go too quick. Oh, after all, weather is not that good today. So, taxi checklist. Taxi area clear, power lever. Yeah, we don't actually need any power. Prop RPM minimum 1200, and we've got 1282. In idle, brakes checked, steering checked, taxi checklist complete. Okay, let's take it out of beta range. You can see the beta range actually works pretty well in the airplane. This is idle right now without beta, and you can see it is accelerating. But when we went straight into the beta range, then it did actually not gather any further speed, and indeed even very slightly started to lose some speed. Here we go, back in the beta. You can see it whenever I put it in a beta. You hear that little click sound, and then down here it says beta range in the primary flight display or in the CAS as well. CAS, in case you wonder, crew alert system. That little box down here, quite similar to how other aircraft like the 777 would advise you.
Welcome to Kittilä, taxi stand 15. Taxi stand 15.
Okay, so 14 knots. You can see I'm really not taking it too quick. It's snowing. You can see the state of the taxiway over here that we're taxiing on, so keeping the speed under control is certainly rather important. So out of beta range, you can see we're gaining speed immediately again.
Line up runway 16, and the backtrack is also approved, but I don't think you need.
Oscar Uniform Charlie via Lima, line up runway 16, and we don't need backtrack, but we do need 2 minutes for the engine run-up.
Oscar Uniform Charlie, production approved.
Approved, and we can do that on the runway, Oscar Uniform Charlie?
Yeah, just, yeah, you can do it on the runway.
Roger. So that definitely makes our life a little bit easier, and as we're about to line up, let's turn all those lights on. Nice how you can actually see the pulse lights over here, changing between left and right. Increases visibility for others, and certainly reduces the risk of bird strikes, even though I doubt that there is actually any bird flying at the moment in these weather conditions. Okay, here we go. Take it slow. The runway is not cleared very well, as you can see. Only a very small strip on the middle of the runway that's actually cleared from snow. Well, a very small one. Alright, here we are. So, brake set, let's do the engine run-up checklist. Park and brake set, power lever 1900 RPMs. And here it gets important. With a runway condition like this, in case we start slipping, we're immediately going to cancel the run-up. But this looks alright. RPMs about 1900. Here we go. Okay, overspeed governor test. That's located just up here. Test. And now you can see the RPMs drop down there. Looking for a drop of 60 RPMs. Looks good. Release the switch again. We get those RPMs back. Looking good. Okay, power lever idle. Reverse lockout switch. Hold for a minimum of 5 seconds. And now let's try to put it into reverse. And as you can see, impossible. Alright, so that works as well. Then, generator switch off. And the alternator is taking all the load, as you can see down there. Okay, so generator back on. That's the engine run-up checklist complete. Before takeoff checklist. Seats, armrest, belts, adjusted and locked. Generator switch on. Alternator switch on. Bleeder lever in. ECS cabin comfort. Normal. Fuel temperature is still alright at the moment. It's 0 degrees right now. That is okay. Okay. Fuel pump switch. Manual. Ignition. Manual. Pitot heat on, ice protection as needed. Let's run a single surface de-ice cycle over here. Okay, taxi and recognition light switch set to pulse. Landing light on, nav light on, strobe light on, flight instruments checked, CAS PFD is considered. Those are all expected messages down there. Engine instruments checked, radios, avionics, transponder. We are gonna switch the transponder on alt. And flaps 0, elevator and rudder trim set, flight controls free, and then we are ready for takeoff. Before takeoff checklist complete. Oscar Uniform Charlie, ready for departure.
Uniform Charlie, wind 06 degrees 3 knots, runway 16, clear for takeoff. Initially climb to flight level 60.
Oscar Uniform Charlie, stop climb at flight level 60 and runway 16 cleared for takeoff. Okay, set. 60 is checked. Okay, brake released. Or park and brake released. I'm still holding the manual brakes. Okay. Power set. Numbers looking good. Brake release. Takeoff. And the timer is running. Okay, speed alive. 60 knots.
Green 7 of the Yankee, you can expect that to approach runway 3.
Rotate. Okay, slightly neutralize rudder. Tap the brakes. Positive climb. Gear up. Flaps are already retracted. So, best rate of climb speed is 125. It's pretty much like this. Okay, yaw damper on, nav on, flight level change on, and autopilot on. Okay, and here we go. We are in the air. We don't need that thing anymore. Okay, and we're up high enough. Let's accelerate. We are looking for a climb speed of 140 knots up here. So, should hopefully be out of that weather. Well, I do suppose we are actually gonna climb above it. Okay, so maximum continuous climb checklist. Power lever, set MCT. Let's give it 1300 on the torque. Like so. Fuel pump, auto, ignition, auto. Landing light, off. And recognition light off. Ice protection definitely gonna stay on. Engine instruments checked. Climb speed is set and transponder verified on alt. Okay, that's the max continuous climb checklist complete. So there's one aircraft coming over there, probably coming in for an ILS like that into the opposite direction. Oscar Uniform Charlie, passing 4,400, climbing level 60.
Oscar Uniform Charlie, then contact. Turn left heading 070 and climb flight level 170. Request start instruction.
Oscar Uniform Charlie, turn left heading 070 and say again the flight level.
Level 170.
Climb flight level 170, Oscar Uniform Charlie. Okay, set. 170 checked. So I suppose he's vectoring us clear of that guy on the inbound. He's turning us out so that that guy can go below us. I guess once we're above him, so about 1,500, yeah, a little bit more to climb. Once we're above him, we are actually going to get a vector back inbound. Okay, so transition altitude I believe is 5,000 over here. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, 5,000. So let's go ahead and set standard.
Oscar Uniform Charlie, passing flight level 80, proceed direct to accommodation.
Oscar Uniform Charlie, passing flight level 80, direct Tukbu on navigation. So, Tukbu, let's just about prepare that. And when passing flight level 80, so we are going to need a little bit longer until we can actually do that. As we're waiting for that, let's turn on a couple more lights, since we now have sufficient power with the engine running. So I want all those lovely lights coming on. Let's actually show you like that. So this is the panel floodlights that we've got only on the side over there though. Then we've got the avionic lights. Turn that up. We've got the panel lights, which are basically down here. And finally we've got the switch lights. And that's pretty much all the lights we have in the cockpit. Alright, passing flight level 80, activate that direct. And nav, respectively GPS. Okay, certainly clear of the inbound traffic there. Oscar Uniform Charlie, contact Helsinki 126 3. Bye bye. So 126, and now it's time to start strolling. Decimal 3. Here we go. Oh, that looks lovely. We're getting out of it. Helsinki Control, good evening. Oscar Hotel Foxtrot Uniform Charlie, flight level 9R, climbing 170, inbound Tukbu.
Hello, Oscar Hotel Foxtrot Uniform Charlie, Helsinki Control, Airline, mostly Delta arrival, runway 03.
Cleared offlet to Delta arrival, runway 03, Oscar Hotel Foxtrot Uniform Charlie.
Driving to 1 clear direct 65.
Alright, let's load that in. Arrival. And that's Ostley to Delta arrival. Looks good. Load. And for the approach itself, let's also quickly load that in, then we got our flight plan completed. 03, so we are going to fly the Arnav approach.
Hello, Leipzig Air 183.
From MIPGO. Minimums, we can do that later. And load that up. Okay. Let's have a quick look. That's what it looks like, and that is perfect for me. I do believe we've got one waypoint doubled, but we'll check that in a few moments. Well, we can also check it now. So, Oslo, MIPGO, Ropov. Okay, so we've got a double MIPGO over here. Let's clear that. And then we've got Ropov over here, and that is alright. And we are slowly getting clear of the clouds. No icing on the wings, so let's turn those boots off. I'm gonna keep the rest of our anti-ices on over here because, well, just in case. And the windshield heat can be turned to the defog mode. And that's it. Alright, so we do actually see a little bit of the sun today. Nice! I was afraid already that we might not see it at all. Let's turn those dome lights off. I'm gonna keep the rest of our lights on over here. And then we can keep that stuff as it is. Alright, so not too far until we've completed our climb. Flight level 170. They do have quite a bit of traffic over here. That's quite nice. It's the first time that I'm flying on this particular VATSIM event, and it does actually look pretty lovely over here, doesn't it? Lots of traffic and lots of nice airports covered. Every Tuesday. From 17 to 2000 UTC. So, looking up the front over there, it does look to me like we're actually going to cruise inside the clouds. So we might have to use a little bit more, might have to use the anti-ice throughout the entire flight. But that's alright, we can absolutely do with that. Okay, let's have a quick look over here. Weather... Kitty Lane? No, we are looking for Rovaniemi already. So, Rovaniemi, latest weather 080 with 4, 10 kilometers, light snow, overcast 3300, 0 degrees, 1001. Okay. That is alright with me. Approaching 1000 to go. Vertical speed 1000. And that is 1000 to go now. Also, if we're on it already, let's just go 1 to 1.5. Like that. Okay, so about to re-enter the clouds, makes it easier flying into the sun, as we won't need that sunshade anymore. Temperature minus 27 degrees outside, so we can leave the anti-ice basically as it is. I'm gonna turn on the windshield anti-ice, but not the surface de-ice, because those de-ice boots should be used as de-icers only. So we'll wait until we've got some ice accretion on it, and once some ice has built up, we are gonna turn on the boots, and we are going to make that ice fly off again. So the way those de-ice boots work is basically they change the shape of the wing, and that forces the ice to break up. Okay, and here we are. Alright, so made it up to cruise. Let's start accelerating. And as soon as we are there, we are going to reduce our power just a little bit. Looking for about 1000 foot-pounds of torque. Reducing now. Give me roughly 1000, please. Pretty much like so. Alright, 225 knots true airspeed for flight level 170 is quite okay in my opinion. So then, let's quickly review those approach charts, because our navigation display tells us that the topper descent is incoming already. Even though I do believe that it is a little inaccurate, so let's have a look at what the chart says over here. Oslet to Charlie, that should be it. Should it? No. Let's just check what we actually put in. Flight plan, Oslo to Delta. Okay. Here we go. Oslo to Delta. And the restrictions are Oslo above 100, Mikko above 2,500, Ropov above 2,500. And then for the approach, we are going to go for the RMP approach, runway 03. And let's see, if we are Unuka 2,400. Okay, so Ropov 2,500 should be completely okay. So let's just about change that. No restriction required over here. Remove. Also none required over here. Remove. And if we leave those 2,500 in over here, that's totally fine for me. Also, the temperature is 0, so technically speaking we need to do a temperature correction. However, looking at the chart, procedure not authorized below -20. So until -20 degrees, we can fly without the need for a temperature correction. Okay, so we're going to leave that like it is. Perfect. Top of climb, or sorry, top of descent for Ropov 2,500 is about coming already. Well, let's just go ahead and change that target vertical speed up there. So let's go VNAV profile, and if we take 4 degrees. Nope, can't change that, it seems. Why can we not change the flight path angle down there? -4. Enter. Okay, that's not working. Interesting. Well, okay, in that case, let's go ahead and request descent then. Oscar Uniform Charlie, we are ready right now. Descending flight level 100. Set. Vertical speed. And then we're looking at about -1300. Let's reduce that power a little bit.
Descent 100. Lufthansa 1 to echo.
Alrighty. So, VNAV profile now tells us 1300 feet a minute, so that is what we are going to do. Okay, so quick look down here. We are going to fly it as an LPV approach, so the minimum for Cat Bravo is 890. Timer reference. Minimum's on, and we are looking for 890 feet. Here we go. Alright, the minimum is in, speed is looking good. Icing, no icing at the moment. Remove a little bit of that rudder trim. And we're about to get back into trim. Alright. So, descent checklist. Windshield heat switch. We're going to keep it on anti-ice. Ice protection equipment set. Power lever set, desired torque. Altimeters for now. Standard set and cost checked. Destination elevation is checked. That is unfortunately at the moment coupled to the minimum down here until we get a separate setting for it down here in the timer reference menu. So destination elevation is checked and cabin climate control set as required. Descent checklist complete. Let's have a very quick look at how our passengers are doing. Ha! 0 wearing seatbelts. Yeah, come on guys. It's about time to put those on. Passengers are hot. Well, I like that. But I suppose we're gonna turn it down a little bit anyway. Alright, apart from that, they want some food, they want some drinks, so let's just about get them a coffee and maybe a couple of snacks as well. Right, here they go. Little menu. But certainly not for too long, as we're about to start our approach into Rovaniemi anyway. So very quick check to make sure that our approach is actually looking good. We're coming in, starting from Ropov. That was blocked. Okay, so out of Ropov. 025 degrees, 4.6 miles to Junuka. We've got 025, 4.6 towards Junuka. And then from there, starting in 2400, 5.4 miles to the runway. And that's 025, 5.4 out of 2400 to the runway. That is very good. Alright, perfect. Minima is 888, so 890 for us. That is selected. And in case I'll go around straight at Romeo Oscar 364. That's 364. And then left towards Vekip, climbing 2500. And that is after 364 to Vekip. Alright, perfect. That's all we need. Later descent, we can now do 1200 feet a minute. And we've got 1000 to go anyway, so we might as well just do 1000 feet a minute. Okay, let's put that windshield heat to defog. We don't want to overheat the windshield in the end. 1000 to go. Okay, there is an aircraft coming ahead of us. Where is that guy going? Let's hope he's gonna level off. He does. Okay, very good. So ATC did their job correctly.
Okay.
129er, das 09er, Oscar Uniform Charlie, good day. Rovaniemi approach, good afternoon. Oscar Hotel Foxtrot Uniform Charlie, approaching flight level 100. Is that frequency correct? 129er, das 09er. Okay. Okay, let's not slow down too much. Rovaniemi approach today, Oscar Hotel Foxtrot Uniform Charlie, flight level 100.
Oscar Hotel Foxtrot Uniform Charlie, Rovaniemi radar, 2500 feet, QNH 1001.
Descent 2500 QNH 1001, Oscar Hotel Foxtrot Uniform Charlie. Okay. Set 2500 checked, vertical speed. Let's start with 1000. So set QNH. Oscar Uniform Charlie via MIPGO, cleared RMP approach 03, call you on final. Oop, why did that autopilot disengage? Here it's back on. I probably hit the wrong button. So let's see, what's VNAV saying? 1300 feet a minute required. Then let's give it 1300 feet a minute. Okay, approach tracks. Autopilot to be disengaged below 100 knots. Fuel pumps. Manual, ignition. Manual, landing light on, recognition light, pulse. Okay, fuel quantity and balance checked, seats, armrest and belts adjusted, and standing by for the landing gear and flaps. That's the approach check completed. So, ignition on, fuel pumps on, looking good. Now I don't think we're gonna see the sun again today, so let's stow those visors up here. looking good. Wow, lovely effects here coming from our landing lights in the clouds. But yeah, that is pretty much what I would expect. Even though it is a bit confusing that we've got lights shining left and right, so tell you what, I'm gonna turn those pulse lights off again, so that we don't confuse ourselves over here. Okay, let's keep that speed under control. We're going a little bit fast right now. Okay, back in the cabin. I am afraid it... Oh, wow, wow, I let the pillows fly again. Whoopsie. But not all of them. Just the 2. Okay, well, it's time to stow the food, I am afraid. So let's see about our passengers. Are they happy again? Cabin comfort. Still hungry and thirsty. Well, I'm afraid you'll have to live with that, my friends. Very hot, 26 degrees. Yeah, okay. Let's turn it down a little bit more. It's interesting that with the slider still below the middle position, we're still getting so warm in the cabin. I wouldn't have expected that. I certainly would not have expected that. But it's okay. We can live with it, I suppose. Okay, speed is looking good again. We are supposed to be doing 175 maximum in the descent, and so we are. Oh, gathering some ice on the windshield. In that case, back to the anti-ice mode. And with some ice gathering there, tell you what, let's turn the boots on as well. And it's quite snowy down there. First snow of the year for me. Cool. Really cool. So passengers hungry, thirsty. Well guys, you gotta wait until we are on the ground now. Okay. It's still getting warmer in the cabin, 26.7 now. Well, in that case, turn on the fan and climate control all the way to cool. So the approach is going to start off out of Unuka, and once we're past Ropov, we can descend with the procedure. So once out of Ropov, we can then descend to an altitude of 2,400 from where we're going to start the approach. Windshield is clear. Back to defog, and the boots can come off. And let's also put on the pulse lights again. Like that. Okay, quick last check of the approach weather. I want to know what the latest cloud coverage is now. That's going to be 133.7, I believe.
QNH1001. Advise on initial contact. You have information. Hotel. This is Rovaniemi arrival and departure information hotel. At time 1850. RNT approach expected. Runway 03 in use. Runway condition code 666. Contaminants all parts dry. Transition level 65. Automatic weather report. Wind touchdown zone 080 degrees. 4 knots. Visibility 10 kilometers or more. Light snow. Overcast 3,300. Temperature 0. Dew point 0. QNH1001. Advise on initial contact. You have information. Hotel.
Alright, information hotel. Light snow, but the runway condition code is reported as 6. That means the runway is dry. So it's probably just some very light snow that just about melts when it hits the runway, and thereby giving us good braking actions. Lovely view outside. I really like the way that PA28/FSR500 looks. And I just love the snow of the Nordics up here. Really beautiful. Okay, then on final we can descend 100 feet lower from where we're gonna start that approach. Oscar Hotel Foxtrot Uniform Charlie established final approach course.
What's good? Uniform Charlie, controlling tower
118.7, Oscar Hotel Fox Uniform Charlie, bye. Okay, the glide is coming in. Activate the approach and let's start slowing down. Glide path is armed. And 18.7. Okay, we are below 168 knots. Flaps 10 and gear down. Robin Tower, good afternoon. Oscar Hotel Foxtrot Uniform Charlie established RMP 03.
Oscar Hotel Foxtrot Uniform Charlie Roger Tower, good evening. Wind 06 running 5 and runway 03 clear land.
Runway 03 cleared land, Oscar Hotel Foxtrot Uniform Charlie. Okay, glide path capture, Mr. Port altitude 2500 set. Then we should be VMC, but looks like there's a couple of clouds left, so let's go ahead and start slowing it down. Field elevation is 634. That means yeah, runway is inside, so we can take the stable gate as 500 feet. Okay, flaps 20, and once below 118 we can go flaps full, which is now. Flaps full. Okay, lights are on. One last cycle of the de-ice boots. Just to be sure to get the last parts of possible icing clear of our wings. Approach speed 85. And we're all stabilized. Landing checklist. Gear indication 3 green, brakes checked, flaps set 36, airspeed 85, autopilot yaw damper to go, landing check complete. Okay, looking good. So we are going to vacate to the right, going to the main apron down there. Okay, autopilot off, yaw damper off, flight director off. I just love the precision of modern days ANAV approaches. Totally love it. Okay, power off. And we're done. Okay, I'm not using the wheel brakes at all. I'm just using the beta and reverse range of our propeller because it is ultimately rather slippery here. Now I'm using wheel brakes. Just be sure that we actually get a stop and vacate the runway over here. Okay. Out of the beta range, onto idle. And here we go.
Tower Starfleet 1701 with India, IFR to be spotted. Good evening.
Alright, here we go.
Starfleet 1701.
Runway is vacated.
Clear to be spotted, runway 03, all known 3, Bravo, departure, flight 400, Fox 4706.
Bravo.
After landing checklist. Timer.
And Paris will sing 4706.
Stopped.
Duffy 1701.
So, fuel pump, auto, ignition, off. Pitot heat is going to remain on, ice protection stuff is going to remain on. Strobes off, landing light off, taxi light on. Flaps, we are going to retract them. Oscar from Charlie, taxi to the apron. Okay, so they don't seem to have any preference for us either, so let me show you a little trick of what you can do. For that, we'll just about stop that plane once again. So let's go to IFR charts. Now we zoom all the way in. And here we go. Look at that, safe taxi. I really love the possibilities of the G1000. So GA apron simply straight ahead into one of those stands. Unfortunately, can't really make out where they even are. So we'll just about go straight ahead into the stands, and that's all we need. And transponder can go onto on instead of out. So we're just gonna park somewhere in the edge over there. Like stand 1 or so. That does seem good to me. Okay, going a little fast, and it is slippery. You can feel it. You can really feel it. But it's going downhill, that's why we are sliding so easily. Alright, it's set taxi to apron, so we are gonna go to the left over here. Stand number 1. And here we are. Okay. So brake is set, and then we can do the shutdown checklist. Park and brake set, ECS cabin comfort off. And let's just about use the moment to switch the dome light back on so that we can actually see something. Okay, so ECS cabin comfort is off. Power lever, idle, cabin climate controls off. Fuel pump switch off. Avionics switch off. Generator switch off. Alternator switch off. ITT has already been stabilized for 2 minutes. So condition lever cut off. Oh, lovely simulator is lagging a little bit. Okay, here we go. Engine is running down. So waiting for the engine to run down before we do anything else now. In the meantime, let's go ground ops, and then we can unload our passengers. So, chocks in place. So we're going to release the brake so that it can't freeze. Okay, feather indication is showing. Bleed air out. Exterior light switches all off. And then we're going to switch off all of the anti-ice as well. Okay, fuel remaining. We've got 188 on both sides now, looking good. Battery switch off. And that's the shutdown checklist complete. Okay. So, let's open that door. And then we can go ahead and start unloading our passengers. Okay, that's looking good. Let's start the unload in real time. Passengers stretching their legs. I just love it. I just completely and totally love it. Alright, while we're waiting for the passengers to be unloaded, let's just strap on the pitot cover and the propeller cover. Security cones can come in place as well. And red carpets, well, yeah, why not? Because why not? Alright, here we are. At least our passengers don't have to get their shoes dirty then. And that's it, the first IFR flight on the FSR500, respectively Piper 46 M500. Lovely little airplane, and as you can see, a lot of fun to fly this thing IFR as well, and certainly one of my upcoming new favorite propeller aircraft. A little bit slower than the TBMs. Oh, hello there, that was... thank you, somebody logged on our gate in VATSIM. Alright, that had to happen towards the end of the video, didn't it? That just absolutely had to happen. Okay, well, that's it. Thank you very much for watching, guys. So, my initial recommendation, both VFR and IFR, is a lot of fun in the FSR500, and I can certainly recommend you to get it. You can see there's lots of stuff to manage, cabin temperatures, passenger well-being, while you also got a rather complicated airplane to fly in which a lot of different failures can occur. So it certainly doesn't get boring if you're interested in this kind of flying. Now that's going to be it from my part. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, do let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button if you did like the video, as it does help with the YouTube algorithms. And if you really loved my videos, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you very much for watching, and I see you all again on the next one.